Good afternoon, everybody. This is Scott Durkin with Experient. I want to thank you for taking the time today to join us for a webinar on a new platform that we developed called envision360. To give you a quick rundown on how this platform came to be, today we'll be led by Mark Sylvester, who's the owner of introNetworks, a great partner of Experient. I've had the fortune of knowing him for I believe it's about 11 years now. So I go back quite a ways with him. How it came about was really years ago when the first part of Envision, which was 11 years ago, we used to give out what's called a client directory. So it was actually a bound directory of all our information on our clients. And we did that for a couple years after Envision started. Then we moved to what became an online directory that was supported by a company out of Wisconsin called OmniPress. We went with that for a number of years, actually up until now. And what we wanted to do was kind of take a next step in the evolution of what we're trying to do when it comes to partnering with our great industry friends. And the idea was to take that client directory information and develop something that also brought something to the table to help everyone with their daily business activities and getting to know our staff and really make the process of doing business with Experient and our staff that much easier. So I believe we've developed a platform here with Mark's company's help that will enable you not only to look up that vital information to do your jobs, but also you get to know our staff and what makes them tick, in hopes that it will create a better business relationship and more mutual success between your company and ours. So thanks again for joining. I'm going to turn it over to Mark here, and he'll give you some rules and instructions on how we're going to run the webinar. So Mark, take it away.
Scott, thank you so much. I love working with you guys. This is one of the more energetic communities we run, and I'm loving how engaged everyone is, and I'm actually going to be at the event, and so I look forward to meeting you in person. Just a little housekeeping. If you have a question, you look in the Go to Meeting control panel on your screen, and you'll see a little thing that says chat. If you open that up, you can type in a question, and when I get to a nice break, or if it makes sense to answer it right away, I will go ahead and do that. One of the things I noticed in the UI for GoToMeeting, there's this thing where, I don't know, inadvertently you click to become the presenter. I'm the presenter today, so I know, Alexis. So that's why I'm saying that. So don't worry about that. I will ignore those. So welcome. We're going to spend some time here taking you through what envision360 is, what it's all about, what you should expect to get out of this session. One of the things is there's 30 or 40 of us on the call. I'm going to expect that 80% of you have used, you're already inside and you want to learn more, but I'm going to convince you why you should go back in today and actually make your profile a little more awesome than it probably already is. I'm going to show you how to search, because as you're getting ready to go to the conference, you want to make sure, I know that the appointment tool is either online or going online very soon, and you want to know who should you meet? Who are the 10 people you absolutely have to meet? This tool will very much help you do that. I also want to show you how, as you're looking at other people's profiles, how to interpret that and how to think of it as kind of a sales 101, but how to use that information to help you grow your network. And then all the different ways that you can look at these connections and how things are connected. And that also helps you in trying to make a better impression or make a more meaningful meeting when you're there in Cleveland. So envision360 it's a year-round community. So this isn't just for the event. This is a new resource for you. That includes everybody in the ecosystem of Experient. And it's a place where there are groups, there's conversations, there's it is, yes, an Uber directory, so that you have that when you're traveling, when you're preparing for a sales call. All of that information is there. It's going to be up for you all year long. So in the profile, there's really kind of 4 things to think about, and I'm going to jump live here in just a second. But one is, like, fill out the whole profile. Take your cup of coffee, sit down. The better you do at doing that, the better matches are going to be made. There's a matching engine underneath that drives envision360 that uses the information you put in terms of your area of expertise, where you could help, where you would like some help, and what you're interested in, and then matches you to people. I'll show you how that all works. But the more words you put in, I've noticed some people just go in and put in like 4 words, which is the minimum. And yeah, you can get that, but you're going to get minimum results. So you can go in, put up to 40 words, and you're going to get the connections, potential connections you'll have are going to be infinitely better as a result. We have this other thing called Talk to Me About, which is a way for you, if you've got a specific area of interest, or there's something that you're just, that if I want to open a conversation with you, if I go and start talking about that, I know you're going to open up. Again, sales 101, but here we're asking people to say, what is that opening conversation starter should it be? And then please put a picture of yourself in there, so that when you're in Cleveland or you're in a meeting, you go, oh, yeah, there's Bob. I know his picture, and that takes that weird first datey bit out of it. So let's go in and look at the site. So for those of you who haven't logged in yet, the first thing you'll do is actually create a profile. For those that you have logged in, the second time you come in, you see this dashboard. And what I've done is I've set my dashboard up to show me recent members. I could also, you could see here, I have it showing me my my top matches, so I can see who my best matches are. We'll get into that in a second. But I like to know who's joining, like who's new. And I noticed Donna here, and if I click on view, it's going to show me Donna is the Director of National Accounts at the New Orleans CVB. She says, talk to me about New Orleans family and church. So boom, none of that had to do with work. It's all about, that's how I would make a personal connection with her. She says what she's done, and we can read that, it's pretty clear. How she could help others, that's interesting. Here's what she's interested in, interesting. And then others view her as. So this is also nice. Now the words in color, the things that Donna and I have in common. So those might be the things I want to talk to her about. As it turns out, I'm really interested in gardening, and that happens to be a particular passion of mine. So I might use that as my opening thing to talk about. So let's go and look at the profile. So you want to edit your profile. In the upper right, you see it says Edit Profile. So you could do this anytime. First-time users, we walk you through this, but now all of you are going to want to go in and trick this out a little bit better. On your contact information, pretty self-explanatory. Go in and fill all of that out. But the meat is here on this page, the tags. So what we did, the Experient team and myself, is we went and looked and said, what are the skills that someone in this industry would have? And if you look at this list, it's very extensive. We've got pretty much everything in hospitality industry and anything related to that ecosystem that you would possibly have had some experience in. And let's say I do web design. I take that word and I drag it to the box above. And notice there's a little number there that's changing. That indicates how strong of a match I want to make, how important web design is to me. So when I look at this, I'm not really an AV geek, though I was one at high school, but I'm actually, it's more around technology, business development, community development. There you go. So if I put those things at the top, it's going to match me, or other people will see my profile and know that's what they could talk to me about. Same thing with I can help others with, same thing with this, with the interests. The reason we have the interest is, let's say you're going to New York, you're going to meet with one of the SAMs, or you're going to meet some customers, and you want to, you just want to jump right into business. You want to find out something they're interested in. So before your meeting, you go in, before you even get on the plane, you go in and you see what they're interested in, what their talk to me about words are, and now you can have a good conversation with them. And notice there's actually a lot of different things that if you want, you can go in and put information in. I know it was really important to Scott that we had birthdays in there because everybody loves a birthday. So knowing, if you got lucky and you're going to go visit the headquarters and you find out the person you're visiting just had a birthday or is going to have a birthday, it's kind of nice to say happy birthday or send them a card, something like that. Getting to know people personal is a big part. I mean, heck, we're in the hospitality industry, so knowing these kinds of things is really, really important. And then finally, going in and putting in your LinkedIn profile. If you have a blog, if you write on Medium, if you got specific product pages or specific like pictures, pages from the CVB, or you have photos, you can put as many photos up here as you want. And then people can go through your profile and see that. The other thing you can do is you can create a short little video using your web camera to introduce yourself. When you're done with that, just go back, make sure all of this, so notice I don't have my title in there, and I will put that in right now. I'm a community strategist, so I'll just type that and go to the tags. Notice that everything got saved as I was doing it. Everything looks pretty good. I'm going to say show my connections. So now what it's doing is it's showing me at the center of the universe. So if someone were to click my card, this is what they would see. Okay, so there's my title. Now it's up there. And there's all my contact information, my networks, all of the things that I just showed you, how I answered all of those questions. And in fact, that picture I had is right there. And there's my little web video that I created earlier. So, but it's not about me, it's about other people. So what does this view look like? Well, this is people closest to me are people I have more things in common with. So here's Ida. If I click on her card, I can see, wow, she did a great job on her profile. And we also notice that we have a lot of things in common, which is why her pin is very close to me. So look at all these things we could talk about, but I could also see she's in the event planning department. She's been there less than a year. And we can look at all this information. This is fantastic. And in fact, she says, I'm good at sculpture and writing. And that might be an interesting thing to talk to her about. She says, talk to me about Italians and Cubans. Now, I'm just going to stop right there, full stop, because that's interesting. I'd like to know, because I go right to food. I want to know all about food and what's it like eating at her house with Italians and Cubans, because I'm going to guess one of them, I think her name is Buzz. He might be the Cuban, is my guess. So again, you see how easy that is. Send her a message. I click here, send a message. It's going to go right to her mobile or right to her email. She can reply, and it's really that easy to meet people. So let's go back and continue. So I talked about moving tags, putting an image. That's why you want to have an awesome profile, because other people are going to see that. So you want to be found. So that means you're tagging yourself. So all those things that you want people to find you about, what you have expertise in, how you could help other people. That's another thing. Kind of think of this as a skills marketplace. So you could be looking for someone who could help in concept generation, or someone who could help you in disruptive thinking. That might be a good person to have a brainstorm with. So let's go back and look at search then a little bit more. So when we search, we could do a simple thing. I'm just going to look for Bob, and there's one person whose name is Bob right there. Okay, and that's pretty simple. But I want to do something a little more interesting. I want to actually want to go and find people. I like that disruptive thinking. Let's do that. And someone who says they're curious and they've done competitive analysis. That would be kind of an interesting group of people to talk to. So we got a little analytical, and we've got some creativity in there as well. We'll see. Interesting. So we only 3 out of 1,500 pins, and we have Anthony. And if we look at Anthony now, at this point, it's not how much we have in common. That helps me in that initial reaching out to Anthony to talk to him. But here I'm specifically looking for, and here we can see there's my search results up there. I'm looking for very specific things, and I might actually go out and look at a list of people and look at those 3 people and go, those are really interesting people. I'm going to go ahead and set all 3 of them a message. Let's go look at another search. So I'll reset that. Well, what if I was looking for people in a specific area? So I can go in and every single one of those fields in the profile is searchable. So if I come up to country and state, I say United States, and I say California, and I search, it's going to now show me everybody, including the clients. So there's 133 of them in California. Now I want to focus on a map. Look at that. All the black pins are clients. So this is great. So now if I'm planning going to the Bay Area, I can see exactly where those people are located, right? I zoomed a little too far in. But look at this. This is fantastic because now I can roll over each one of those pins and see who that organization is very, very quickly. I can also see them on a map. All the pins around the outside, those are clients. The reason they're on the outside is they don't have tags because they're organizations, not individuals. So they don't have the interests in how they could help. But they do show up in our search. So let's go do another search. So another search might be that I want to, I'm going to be really targeted now. So I'm going to go and I'm going to look for, we know that there's different types, all the types over here in the legend. So I'm going to look for clients. And I happen to be, I cater to associations. So I'm going to look at the market, and I'm going to say association. I can keep adding these fields, by the way. There's really no limit to that. And I'm looking for associations that, let's come up here, have, they do 6 to 10 events. And let's search. Okay, so now this view doesn't help me, but the list view does. So now I go, this is interesting. Oh, urban land. I'm going to look at that one. And now what I'm going to see, so now I want to look at urban land. Here, look at all this information we have. So I know what the acronym is. So that's an Experient thing, how long they've been a client. I can also see how many room nights they book. I can learn about them, but here's an important bit. Who's the sourcing manager? Who's the account manager? Nancy Wise. Okay, well, I want to learn about Nancy. So I'm going to take Nancy's name and I'm going to pop her name into search and search. And what do we get? Interesting. So here, what this is showing me, these are all Nancy's accounts. So now I can come through here and see, that's interesting. And I can kind of maybe move this out of the way like this over here. And I can just keep going through all of these. And then here's a little super user trick for you. You can kind of go back and forth between all of these. And if I send a message, it's going to send a message to the account manager that I'd like to talk to her about the American College of Veterinary Surgeons. And so Craig wants to know, does client refer to Experient team members or their association corporate client? It's their association and corporate clients, Craig. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to let's take 2 or 3 minutes for questions because I've covered a lot so far. And why don't you put your questions in there and I will answer them. Give you a minute or two to type. And see no questions, meaning I must be doing a great job of explaining things. I'm going to show you another cool thing you can do with searching. So you remember how we just did a fairly complex search. By the way, you can also do a geographic search. So it'll search from where you are at any given time, where your profile is. But you can save a search. So if I went and did that, one we did earlier, I can save it. I can give it a name. And notice here, I have saved searches. So here is, I want to look for corporate accounts with 11 to 20 events and search. So I set that up because what might happen is new clients come on, and it might be that new people come on and new people are joining 360 all the time. So you can set that up so that you can be alerted. Carolyn, this is available as mobile app on iPad or phone. It's not an app though, it's in browser. And what it does is it allows you to search for people. So it'll be great when you're on site, when you're looking, you can do all the same kinds of search things that we were doing earlier. Okay, so let's come back here. So that's searching. So you can see there's a ton there. Go and play with it. There's specific, there's specific people that you want to find, or the specific areas that you're focused on. You can easily find them. So you select the tags, as I showed you, use the fields to narrow the search more, then save the searches so that you can go back to them on a regular basis. So the intro card, which is what I call that little card, I'm picking on Scott here. I want to show you what we do is the most meaningful information that talk to me about, because that's the thing that the person said, notwithstanding all of the other information we have, that's the thing they want to talk about. And they're giving you permission to do that. And we see a picture of him, and we see what we have in common, and we know, hey, he's got a great smile. I'm going to be looking for him at the show, and I can send him a message. But I want to show you, and Gustavo, I'll get to your question in just a second. I want to show you something that's really interesting, and I'm going to mute everybody. If you'll hold on just a second.
Hey, Mark?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Mark, before you unmute me, can you pull up Joe Donahue for me? So just pull up another person. I prefer not to look at my interests. I'm a shy guy. But yeah, pull up Joe Donahue, D-O-N-A-H-U-E. Okay.
He's right here.
And go into his more information. So if you see that more information tab, this is going to be really crucial for everybody. And I really want to drive home the fact that this is really where you're going to get that information, to really get to know our staff and all the things that Mark mentioned earlier about when you go in and doing sales calls and things like that. But if you scan down that, that's this is some great ice-breaking topics for you to really get to know some of our staff. The ES Center obviously are independent contractors out in the field, so they're home office, but all this really valuable information. So you can imagine what you can do if Joe's coming in for a site visit, or he's a big player in booking your specific hotel or your specific destination, and you want to get to know him, right? You want to kind of break down the wall and try to get to know him. This is where you can get that sort of valuable information. Looking at favorite places to travel, or where he attended college, or his birthday, his work anniversary, if he has kids or grandkids, conversation starters. So really valuable stuff. And I always say, I've talked about this many times, but as we head into Envision, think about how you could potentially leverage this sort of information to really make a hit with the people you're going to be meeting with in your one-on-one appointments. It'd be not only impressive, but I think it's going to help you get to know some people that you haven't met before. So if you really spend time in this area with the key people that you want to get to know that week in March, I think this is a very, very valuable section, if not the most valuable part of the entire platform for you. All right.
By the way, Joe, that's fine. That was a value add. I want to make sure that Joe and I meet, because there's so many things I want to talk to him about. Like, just start with drums. I started drumming when I was 6 years old, and I've been collecting glasses my whole life. So there's that's exactly what this is about. You go in and what's really interesting, Gustavo asked, could search be narrowed down by level of completion? Like, could you search profiles that have a picture or at least 50% of the content? we don't do that, Gustavo, but what I've noticed that's rather unique for this particular site is that people have really gone in there and done a great job of filling out information. Like if Gary here had not filled out anything, this would be gray. And so you can tell at a glance who's filled things out. You can also at a glance see who has created a profile and added their picture to it. So you can do that as well. And then Mary wants to know, is there an easy way to print out profiles? No, we didn't do that on purpose, Mary. If you do want to make a list, for instance, what you can do is you can, I do this all the time. If I want to meet with Joe, I will have sent him a message and I'll add him as a contact, and I'll add this other Joe as a contact. And then I have over here, I have a message center and contacts. So there's my contacts. I could just screen grab that and print it out. Okay, so let's keep going here. So that's how you learn more about the profile and people through their intro card. So the various ways to look at information is the pin view, which I showed you. So pins that are closer to you. So Gustavo, another way to answer your question would be if I'm just going to go in and reset my search. So now I'm going to see, it's going to show me what, I don't know, 1,000 pins. I have it set to show 1,000. So these pins around the outside are going to have fewer things. Notice they have fewer words versus the ones that are closer to the center that are going to have more words. Okay, so that's one way is to look at it. And if I look at this pink one out here, Pride, see there, again, way out on the outskirts, you really want to, these people, you're more prone, actually click on pins on the inside, okay? But the pin view, the pins over in this area, we have a lot in common in this area of others view me as. So it's just an easy way to sort things out. The other thing is you can do things like I just turn off the client pins, turn off hosts, turn off sponsors. If I just want to see Experient people, boom, there I have just the Experient people that I want to focus on. The other view is the map, the list view, which I showed you earlier. But what's nice about this is you can sort by title, you can sort by city, you can sort by company, last name, first name, all of that, and the rank of match. So these are my top 10 matches here. And for sure, I would want to connect with all of these people and say, hey, I'm going to be in Cleveland. Please come up and say hi and introduce yourself and have a conversation. That's just the, hey, I want to meet more humans. But then as we showed earlier, having the more directed conversations. And then the map view, wow, look at that. Now notice here, we've got some international, and I want to get to know all these people in Hawaii over here. That's definitely, Scott, we have to go do an event in Hawaii and have to meet these people. So again, you can see this. So if you're planning a trip someplace, you can easily see, okay, who's in that area, who else. I'm already going to see Steve, but I find there's 3 or 4 other people that are there, or I want to reach out to them when I'm at Envision. And then finally, the other way to view things. So I want to go in and look for people who have done banquets, consulting, and they could help others with communications. Let's just see. I'm just curious what kind of list we get back from that. And we get 4 of those people. Now, I could go through this and click on them one at a time, but I don't really get the full sense of what these people could mean till I go to the last one, which is the tag view. And the tag view is interesting because now these are the 40 things that this group of people have in common. And the reason we did this was that there may be something here that you hadn't considered in your original search that might actually help you. So it might be destination management, might be something. 2 of the 4 can help with that. That's interesting. Oh, negotiating. That's interesting. 2 of the 4 could help with that. So now we start looking at this and you start to get a sense of this group of people. So do this when you are, you've got those people, 3 or 4 or 5, 6 or 20, and that'll help you narrow your search down. And the last little trick I want to show you is, so Anthony here, based on looking at consulting, banquets, and communications, is my closest match. But let's say Anthony's not available. I want to meet with Anthony. He's not available. But I really want what he's good at. That's really what I'm looking for. So who is most like Anthony? Interesting. So you could go in here and say, I want to view Anthony's connections. Who are the people most like him? So this is interesting, because now we see, and I can go to the list view, who is most like him, and I might be able to reach out to Karis, and Karis actually might be able to help me on a project or be involved with me. So it's kind of one of those hidden tricks that's really great when you're going in to find someone and you may find, by the way, that people that you know in common, and that's, to Scott's point, another arrow in the quiver when you go to introduce yourself to that person. So we've talked about the various views. We've talked about the list view, how you can sort that. We've talked about the map view, how you can zoom in and get, depending on the level of detail they put in their profile, you can get very, very close. And the tag view as well is where you can start to understand what an aggregate of people have in common. So let's look at, so we've been really focusing on the site and how to search and build your profile, but I'll show you a few of the other things. By the way, you may have noticed over here on the left side of the screen is where we showcase our sponsors of the site. If this is something you're interested in doing, you notice there's a lot of visibility because this is up all year long. Just get in touch with Molly or Hallie, and they would love to talk to you about that. They also have, if I bring up one of these pins, notice that they put the partners down here. So there's another opportunity for you to get some additional visibility there. So this is a great way to get in front of people as they're using the site. It's getting a tremendous amount of traffic, so you might consider that. Now, we also have groups set up, and we're just getting going on this. And the first group that I want to call attention to is Envision. So go to the Envision group, see the little join button there, just join it, just like that, and you can see the other people who have joined. We're just rolling this out, so I want all of you on the call that are go and click and join this group. You'll see all the other members. It's very easy just to send them a message, just like that. Hey, I didn't know you were going. It's going to be great. Really looking forward to seeing you. There are resources. There are resources. We click on resources, and look at this. Here's the staff attendee list. So if I click on that, look what it does. It's going to open it right up in preview right here, and I can see these are all the people that are going. So now I can contact them, and in fact go in and I can click a name, come back over here, go into search, and search for that person, just like that. Pretty darn easy to be able to do that, and we find and all of her accounts, just like that. Really, really powerful. So those are the groups. You can see the other groups. Go ahead and join a group and get involved. They're going to be having, you can see forums. That's where they're having conversations. So Diane, drop us or Molly a note afterwards, and we'll make sure you can get on. It might be your computer. It might be corporate firewall as well. There's a calendar. So upcoming events will be there. You can post on the calendar if you have an event. Just click and post. And speaking of events, a big part of what is available to you here are all of the events that are coming up. And so that you can see various events and who's going to be. So if you're going to PCMA, who's going, I already showed you how to do this earlier, but you can see who's going, so you can, that might actually be a determining factor of whether you go for one day to one of these events or not. So there's
Hey, Mark, can I make a quick comment?
Of course.
Thank you. That's a critical piece right there, folks. So please note where he's showing you. We get numerous calls, cycling up to any of these major industry events of people asking who's going to be attending, whether it's relating to invites to to some sort of evening activity, or just wanting to know who's going to be in attendance. You don't need to make that call anymore. You can simply get into envision360, look for an upcoming event, and it's going to be posted there. All right. If for some reason there's one that's missing, it's as simple as shooting an email to Molly Klacka and asking if she has an attendance. She'll obviously post that, but it's a great resource for everyone. So please make note.
Thanks, Scott. While you were talking, I was just clicking through the various things. So we have done, I make these 2-minute tip videos. So we've got those online, as well as this webinar has been recorded. So if there's someone in your office you think should listen to this, you could go ahead and shoot them that, as well as all the kinds of informational documents. And let me come back here and make sure I have covered everything. So when you navigate around, just to recap, you have search over on the left. You can advanced search, or just click in, type in any word you want. You can click anywhere on the left to open up the specific section. If you want to edit your profile, it's in the upper right. Go ahead and click that. Easy to do. And then it's very easy. The system couldn't be any easier to use, so it's very, very quick. Reminder, over on the left side, you see the 2-minute tips. Click that, takes you to YouTube. All of the videos we've created are hosted right there, as well as if you've got a specific question or you need some help, click the help button. But if you just want to reach out to us, click the contact us button, and that drops us a little note, and one of our crack support staff will help you with that. So Katie said, is there a way to view the state when you're looking at connections? My view only goes to city, and I really need to list by state. Oh, well, let's show you how to do that. So if I go, let's reset this, or reset my search, and I'm going to do an advanced search. Katie, I'm not sure what state you're in, so I am just going to pick a state. So I'll come down to, unless you type it in there quick, I go to country, I go to United States, and I'm going to pick Arizona, and I hit search. So it's going to show me all of the records that have Arizona in them, and it's now looking, Illinois, but here's Arizona, and then I click on the map view, and there we go. Now it's showing me, because it always shows me in relation, but there's Arizona. But you did say Illinois, so if I want to edit it, notice I'm just searching on one field. I click that, and I come down here, and I go to Illinois, and we'll search that instead. And the map is probably automatically going to go there. Oh, there we go. Now this is interesting. I have to figure out why she has Illinois somewhere in her profile, and that's why that's showing up. But again, we can zoom in very quickly. Look at that. And I love getting very close. I know you wanted to see the whole state, but I love how specific, like if your address is very specific, you can get in there and plan at that level. And Scott, with that, I am done, and we could take a few more questions if people have. And really looking forward to meeting everybody in person. I'll be doing some on-site tutorials and classes in Cleveland.
Great, Mark. Thank you very much. Any last-minute questions, please chime in now. But we hope you've enjoyed today's webinar. Like Mark said, he's going to be on site.
I'm sorry I muted you.
Okay.
I was trying to unmute everybody. Sorry. Yes, I
There's
am
a
the deal
lot of
time.
people that would love to be able to mute me as often as possible. That's fine. But we're here as a team to help you. This is obviously a brand new platform. We've already started talking. We actually had a meeting this morning about what we're going to do to continue to enhance the platform. There's been a lot of excitement. We've maxed out this webinar. The one we did, the last one we just did was maxed out as well. So a lot of great excitement, a lot of great energy. But it's a platform that's only going to be great if you get in and use it. So your feedback is important. So please, as you come across things, if you run into questions, you got a full team of people here that want you to have a great experience in this system. But we also want your feedback. So if there's something you see that might be missing, please make sure to fire an email out to Molly. And as we get together, as we continually get together weekly on the platform, we talk about that and how important it is to try to incorporate those sorts of things into this site moving forward. So please don't be shy, but get in. I challenge you all to complete your profiles quickly. It does not take long. We're going to do some fun things that are going to be coming up here with our staff. We're having another internal training for our own teams here internally, and we're going to do some fun things relating to a scavenger hunt.
Yeah,
and
those are great.
Yeah, which basically challenge our people to find certain unique characteristics of our supplier partners that are attending Envision. So if your profile is not in there, we can't use you as one of those examples, and I'm sure it's not a bad thing to be a target of a scavenger hunt by our staff. So please take the 10, 12 minutes to complete the profile. If you have questions, concerns, any issues, we're all here to help you.
Scott, thank you. And then we'll find out who's really good at building canoes. So Margaret wants to know if the tutorial will be offered again. Molly, I think you have slated to do this one more time. Is that correct?
The next one we have is for internal staff. We currently don't have another one scheduled for industry, but that's something we can,
If you want to reach out to us directly, Margaret, please do.
And then Norma says, thank you for a great presentation. Norma, you're welcome. Penny said, Penny's with Best Western. She says, can you give us an example of how to complete our profile for a chain brand versus an individual hotel? Scott, how do you want to deal with those?
We didn't set it up in that manner. It's specific to the individual attending Envision.
Got it. Perfect.
If you wanted to draw some attention or get some exposure specific to the brand, you can contact us relating to the marketing opportunities within the system.
Great. Tina, thank you so much. Tina, Scott, after the last webinar we did, I do these a lot, and I don't have as engaged a crowd as I started off this call saying. And the comments that we got from people, which I sent to you, were really very much appreciated. There's, just so you all know, we've been working on this for months, making sure that the questions were right, that it was serious, but it was also playful, that it had a very personal touch. I know it was really important to Scott that we captured that. Again, we're in the hospitality industry. We should have fun with these things, and it's just so great now that we're rolling it out in advance of the event. That the work we did is just really striking, and most importantly, it's going to help you get more business. That's really what it's all about. So thank you very much, everyone. I look forward to seeing you in person in Cleveland. We will post this recording. If you want to share it, you'll get a note. And again, you can find it in the resources area on Envision. So thanks very much. Thanks everyone there in St. Louis as well. Appreciate working with you guys.
All right, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks, Mark.
Bye-bye.